This video is sponsored by my friends at Click Belt. The Click Belt I'm wearing today is my 2-ply tactical duty belt, and I've been wearing this for a couple of years. As you can see, it still looks very nice and supports my Glock 19 very well. Click belts are available in a wide range of colors and styles, including custom options, all sewn right here in the USA, featuring genuine Austrian Cobra buckles and a full lifetime warranty. So I encourage you to check out our friends at Click Belt. There'll be a link in the description below and probably one right up here. Tell them Brian said hello.
Welcome back to Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2019 Blade Show. I'm here with Dan Eastland. Did I get it right?
You did.
From Dogwood Custom Knives. And we were taking a look at Condor, and Joe Flowers, who I'm sure you're familiar with, actually showed me one of Dan's knives. And I thought, we need to come talk to these folks at Dogwood. And I'm over here now, and wow, these are some really, really beautiful knives. And I could not resist showing them to you. So Dan, I'm really impressed. You do a great job. And so what would you like to look at today? I know you got a Kephart design, which I really like Kephart design knives. But you've kind of taken it to a different level.
I have. I was really fortunate. Ethan Becker invited me to take a look at his original. Wow. I'm sure you know he's got the only intact Kephart knife in existence.
I didn't until you told me, but yeah.
And he found it in a private collection a couple of years ago and decided to use it as the base for his BK62. And because I had some Votech experience as a draftsman and a knife maker, he invited me to be a part of the project. So when we were finished, I had a set of drawings for the original Kephart, and once the BK62 came to market, I was free to bring my version.
Wow.
And
so this is like based off the dimensions and measurements of the absolute original real deal.
It is. The version I've done, I like to think of this as the knife horse Kephart would have made if he was alive today. So the original, they would taper the tang to help the balance. That's a time-consuming process, so to save a little on price, I drilled the tang. So you get the same weight, the same balance, you just don't get the tapered tang. And on the original, there was a false edge that ran almost to the handle. I left a little bit of square shoulder right in front of the handle, so there was a hard surface to strike with if somebody wanted it.
So you got a 90-degree spine on that?
Correct. Aesthetically, that is the only differences between my knife and the original.
So this is micarta handles?
That one is black walnut.
Black walnut, man, that is, just take a look at this. Let me give you a little close up. Look at the fit and finish on this thing. You can't feel any ridge or anything with your fingernail. This is just completely beautiful. What kind of steel is this?
That's CPM 154. So they're available in CPM 154 or S35VN,
wow,
which are my favorite particle steels at the time.
It not only just feels good, but it kind of feels classic.
When Ethan showed me the original, I've always heard so much about that knife, and I'd gotten to the point where I didn't think there was any way it could live up to the hype. And when he handed me the original, as soon as I felt it, I knew, all right, there's a reason for all that hype.
Because we've looked at several different Kephart derivatives, but this one, I guess I never really felt the handle like this. This is really, really comfortable.
And what's deceptive is when I first started making them, the handle looked way too thin.
Right.
I went back to my drawing and I assumed I must have made a mistake. So I made the handle the way that it looked like it should be. And when I went back to Ethan's to compare it to the original, my handle was too thick. So I had to go back and start taking some material off. Wow. And sure enough, that there's something about that handle that even with my fairly big hands, it felt right.
It feels really right. Do you know why Kephart would have put this false edge on here?
We've come to the conclusion that it's a relief grind, because we noticed with this high convex, when you're batoning, when you get deep into a cut, you'll start to bind on the shoulder. Okay. So we think they knocked that corner off to help to relieve that drag or that friction right there at the spine.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
and this is that's the micarta version.
And it just feels so stinking good.
And then because I'm me, I've got that proprietary material Firefly. So at first I was going to make just a very traditional Kephart, and then some of my longtime customers said, you make modern knives, you've got this material, you've got to do it.
Tell us about the Firefly.
So we also have Firefly. This is a proprietary material that we make. 30 minutes of direct sunlight.
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. Look at that. You got to see that. 30 minutes of direct sunlight.
I'll give you 10 to 12 hours of glow.
Glow in the dark. So you're not going to lose this one at night in the woods.
I was dressing some game right at dusk, and I set my knife down and spent 20 minutes on my hands and knees, hoping I found the handle before I found the blade. So I got back to the shop on Monday and said, we're going to fix that.
Yeah.
And I didn't like what was on the market, so we made our own.
Wow.
And the stones are very distinctive. One of the advantages to casting these stones in a translucent material is you actually get more surface area of the glow-in-the-dark material exposed to the light.
Yeah, because you're getting the edges too. Yeah.
Exactly. So not only is the material more efficient than anything on the market, but the way we make it makes it even more efficient.
So get a good close-up of that. You can see that's already had some light on it. You kind of look and see the 3D in there. And so this is proprietary. You came up with this yourself.
I did.
That's cool.
And we've started selling it to other knife makers as well. So we'll sell the handle material and handle sets up to 12 by 18 sheets, or obviously it's available on all the Dogwood knives.
But it's got the same dimensions as all this Kephart. This is really.
That's the George Jetson Kephart.
I'm just telling you, this is. Like I said, I've held several different Kephart derivatives, but this is the first time I guess I've held one that's really made to the original dimensions, and I can see that Mr. Horace got it right. It could be one of the most comfortable, and I know this sounds like a bunch of hokey stuff, but this might be one of the most comfortable knife handles I've ever held. It really is. It's amazing.
There's a reason it's been this popular for this long.
Yeah. So that's well, I'm just glad to have the opportunity to actually see what a real Kephart is supposed to look like.
Thank you very much.
It's really cool. So what else you got to show? There's something else I thought was really cool. So we got really the most traditional, probably the most traditional bushcraft knife design in the world right now. It's the Kephart style. It was something I saw was completely non-traditional. I don't know. Take a look at this handle. See if you can tell what that is. This is made from what?
So it's made from a motherboard.
Motherboard.
My oldest was rebuilding a computer, and he had a scrap motherboard, and he brought it to me and said, "Hey, Dad, can you make a knife handle out of this?" And I said, "One way to find out," and it turns out you can.
That's really cool.
So all of those handles are repurposed motherboards.
So that is so cool. So not only is it a cool, unique design, but it's also taking something you would just throw away in a landfill and using it.
Yeah, I built furniture before I was a knife maker, and in my shop there's pieces of wood that are 4 inches big. I hate to waste anything. Nothing gets thrown away in the shop. That was the Echo 5 pattern. That's pretty much our flagship pattern. That's my go-to general purpose going in the woods knife.
So is that your best seller?
That is.
So one more knife I want to show you and we'll wrap this up. But let me see here. I thought this is just I call this one exquisite. Because look at it. Just look at that. This is what are you calling this one?
That's our fish and fowl.
Fish and fowl. Just look at that, man. That is like
obviously a little bigger than a bird and trout, but I don't do a lot of quail hunting, but I do a lot of dove hunting.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So for the larger game birds and freshwater fish, it's the perfect size for cleaning game.
I went quail hunting for the first time about 2 months ago. It was kind of sad because it was like at a plantation, so they let these quails out, and it was over. They literally kind of had to kick them out of the bushes, but still it was fun. I came home with I got a bunch of quail in the freezer. I don't know what to do with now.
Well, I happen to cook quite a bit, so send me an email.
Yeah,
I got a couple of things you can do.
Yeah, you have to give me the lowdown. Very good.
And that's part of how we got into the kitchen knives as well.
The kitchen knives is a huge market too.
It is.
So Dan, how can people get themselves one of your great Dogwood knives?
So Knife Center and Old Town Cutlery are my 2 dealers right now, or you can go directly to the website www.dogwoodcustomknives.com. We accept custom orders. We got about an 8 to 12 month waiting period, although half my production is custom orders and half is spec knives. So we've always got something new on the website, and if you're willing to make a few compromises, you can have a knife now, or you can order the exact knife you want. It's just going to take a little while.
Very cool. So I encourage you to check out Dogwood Custom Knives. I like the name too. I'm a Georgia boy. I like Dogwood. So, Dan, thanks for taking the time to show us your great, beautiful knives. And thank you for watching Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2019 Blade Show. I didn't say SHOT Show that time. Once again, my name is Brian. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.